Welcome to Click. I'm Spencer Kelly. One of the rules here on Click is that there's no such thing as a free lunch. You never get something for nothing. But Chris Long may very well have found an exception to that rule. Why is it always about food with you?
No, it's just a saying, and well, personal fantasy. But more importantly, we're referring to a movement that has been growing slowly but surely in the belly of the computer industry. Oh, that's food again, isn't it? We're used to the hard sell of the high street, where shops beg you to spend your money. But now there are signs that a non-commercial movement, decades in the shadows, is making itself known. Here, people get together, share concepts and pass them around the world for everyone else to benefit from. Open source. No, stop. Not open source bottle, open source software.
Open source software is essentially a set of tools and systems that have been developed by enthusiasts rather than by large companies like Microsoft. It's very often free, although that's not always the case. I think you should think of open source as free as in free thought, as opposed to free as in a free lunch.
OK. Much to my disappointment, it's free thinking, not a free lunch. Here's another view.
Open source software is software that is actually developed in the community, and the entire source code for the software is made available to the community. Anybody can modify it, anybody can deal with it, change it, use it, and it's basically free to use.
That's right. They're fully fledged programs and they are free. Plus, the people that make them do it for nothing too. Although some companies do manage to make money out of it.
In the same way that you would purchase software and have a maintenance contract and it would be supported, we provide a support contract for open source software.
So you get that, do you? It's free for us to use whenever we like. None of this paying hundreds of pounds to, say, Microsoft Office. OpenOffice will do nicely, thanks. No hunting around for a piece of software to organise your music. Songbird will do it. And looking to play a piece of video? Any piece of video? You need VLC. And there are thousands and thousands of other little gems just like these. And they're free. And here's my thought. If it's that good, why isn't it more successful? Why isn't Microsoft out of business? Well, I suppose you have to start by defining what you mean by successful.
I think really it's just that most people don't know very much about open source software at the moment. Particularly on the sort of operating system side, it's quite fragmented. There are lots of different versions. But on the application side, you've got things like Firefox and Thunderbird, which are immensely popular and certainly catching Microsoft up in certain areas.
Take a look at this cutie. It's one of the ASUS lightweight, very cheap, quite successful notebooks. When it came on the market, it had Linux and OpenOffice on it. And then, all of a sudden, people started putting XP on it. Why? Could it be that open source missed the trick?
I think the open source industry could have made more of that. But when you get a major software company like Microsoft who suddenly decide they want that market, and they have the war chest that they have, they can take that market.
There can be little doubt of the fantastic success some of the open source programs out there are achieving. The browser Firefox, for example, has been storming across the internet, with the Firefox Insider claiming some 270 million users. OpenOffice has registered some 60 million downloads from October last year, and more than 12 million of those have been since May this year. Open source is not going away. But unfortunately, bits and pieces of this programming goodness are built on other people's software. As popular commercial applications grow, they drive the creation of open source equivalents, which can cause problems.
When open source developers write for applications and other products, they often have to kind of use the technology of big companies, I mean like Microsoft or Apple or someone like that. For example, if a company wanted to have compatibility with a certain type of device or service, it might mean they have to kind of reverse engineer the standards so they're actually breaking into the technology. And whether or not it's legal for them to do so is not really for me to say, but what can happen, of course, is that these big companies feel threatened by it and just call the lawyers in.
The open source movement has done sterling work just to get where it is now. But it has to do a much better job at selling itself if it wants to bag itself a bigger slice of the computer software pie.